It's a beautiful day here in Berkeley, California. Good afternoon and welcome to Witter Rugby Field. I'm Keegan Engelbrecht alongside former Cal All-American and USA Eagle Colin Hawley, bringing you all of the action in today's match between the California Golden Bears and the UCLA Bruins. Colin, a wonderful day here in the Canyon. What's got you excited?
Yeah, these two teams are actually primed for this matchup. UCLA coming up on the bus ride last night. They've got an incredible forward pack that they have in the engine room. They want to set the good platform and let their backs express themselves. That's going to be a battle up front for sure.
Referee Steve Finaroli, the man in the middle for today's contest, will get us underway soon.
One of the hardest parts about these matches getting off the bus ride is getting up here and getting those first hits in. Both teams in the first 10 minutes are going to be fighting each other out, getting those first hits in. It's about finding your shape, and both coaches, when we talked to them yesterday and this morning, talked about execution, being able to get into your shape and execute the game plan, what you're trying to do to win this match. And here we go, high kickoff.
We are underway via the right boot of Rand Santos, gathered well by the Bruins on the far touchline. Good carry in by the Bruins here. So critical in these matches is getting stuck in physically early on, taking control of the way in which you want to play and setting the tone for the rest of the afternoon. As we see a high ball put in by the Bruins scrum half, Andrew McCarthy looked to be carried into touch. And I think that'll be a line out for UCLA.
It's a great job by UCLA. They didn't get the jump up on that kickoff to get the ball, but they marshaled their forwards, and McCarthy put in a great box kick, and your kick's only as good as its chase. Pressured down the side touchline, got man and ball with the wing there, and did a great job on defense. Way to start.
A few changes in the Cal lineup today. Tom Dixon, Cade Christ, and Charlie Walsh will be the front row. Seamus Dealey earning the starting position in the number 4 shirt this afternoon. With Byron Finley, we're seeing Dom Paga, Brian Boynia starting at the open side flanker position with Iramea at the 8th man. Cormac Saint is going to start in the scrum half spot today in place of Solomon Williams. Rand Santos at fly half. Mikael De Beer and Max Threlk held the center pairing with Jack Bizio, Emmett Cook, and Oliver Newell. The change from last week in the deep 3 being Emmett Cook slotting into the right wing position.
Looks like we had a penalty to the Bears, a nice touch finder, and they've got a beachhead here in UCLA territory. The lineout's good.
Gathered very well by Seamus Dealey, getting involved early as the Bears begin to execute on the rolling ball and approach the Bruin 22. Saint to Santos now with a big cutout ball, trying to find Oliver Newell. Newell does his well to gather. I think it's a knock-on spotted by referee Finaroli. Colin, I think we saw the space down at the outside. I understand where Santos is coming from, just maybe an opportunity to put a finer point on that execution.
Yeah, we just talked about the finer points and execution being the top-tier keys to victory. Now you saw Santos wind up off the left hand trying to get that ball, and it just floats. So when you get that ball pinned up, you're going to want to put that on a rope out to the outside, finding that outside channel. You're trying to get around that corner if UCLA is stacking tight.
I think a penalty spotted by referee Finaroli after a brief discussion with his AR on the near touchline here. UCLA brings an experienced side to Witter. Osbjorn Ross, Samuel McMillan, and Lau Rocca as the front row. Jack Pargetter and William Sherman, the 2024 All-American, with Ira Lynn, Freddie Jobber, and the captain Logan Turner as the 8th man. We mentioned his name already, Andrew McCarthy and Vicente Alu, the halfback pairings. Joe Sykes and Dalen Joyce in the centers with Sergio Rosia, Daniel Odegemini, and Joshua Cox as the fullback.
Another penalty goes towards the Bears. Unfortunate for UCLA, but they stayed down to go ahead and get an early shove on from the Bears rolling ball here.
Moving the Bears backwards, doing very well as UCLA. I think that was De Beer inserting himself on a switch line. Well counter-rucked by UCLA. The Bears are going to deploy their forward pack, met in a very strong tackle by the Bruins. Santos, again, unable to find his man, but gathered well by Jack Bizio. Dealey again carrying in. Looked to be, Colin, I think that was an illegal counter-ruck effort by UCLA as referee Steve Finneroli blows up play.
Yeah, both teams trying to find their shape. The Bears trying to find that outside channel, some longer skip passes not going to hand, but UCLA not taking advantage and giving up a couple early penalties. I think that's 3 here in the first 5 minutes. They just want to go ahead and clean that up a bit.
We see the captain, Charlie Walsh, conferring with the referee. Looks like Santos is shaping for a lineout. Calling a couple of matchups that we discussed in preparation for the match this afternoon. I think the most exciting of which would be the hookers, Cade Christ and Samuel McMillan.
Yeah, both of these teams, Cade Christ and Samuel McMillan, have played each other since they were teenagers, so they really know each other's game well. But it's really important at scrum time and the line of touch to go ahead and compete there at the hooker position. These two guys are going to be battling all day, but I really like the number 8 matchup in Iramea. And then on the other side, the captain Turner. Iramea is a 250-pound freight train coming down here, and he's had some great moments. But talking to Coach Harry Bennett, the number 8 for UCLA, Logan Turner, he's unmatched in his work rate. He leads from the front, so those two clashes are going to be big today.
Speaking of Cade Christ, gets us underway, finds his jumper, Seamus Dealey. Again, the Bears opting to use the rolling maul as they're going to work their way towards the try line. Another infringement spotted by the referee as Santos does well to keep the ball alive, finding Newell. Saint into Paga now. Here's Fenley. Met very hard by the Bruins, doing very well to counter ruck again. Colin, there it is. I think we discussed it earlier. The double burst of the whistle from the referee Finneroli. I wonder if we'll see some greater consequence here with the repeated infringement, especially as we get closer and closer to the try line.
Yeah, Finneroli reaching to his pocket now, and that might be an early yellow, and it is a big blow for the Bruins. A yellow card there, infringement at that maul, probably taking it down. But that's a big blow for the Bruins. And again, probably about 5 penalties here in the first 7 minutes. They're going to want to head to clean it up.
We'll get a number on that card shortly. Regardless of who it is, he's going to sit down for 10 minutes, and the Bears will want to take advantage of the man advantage for the next few moments available. Back to the line out with Cade Christ. Virtually the exact same spot we saw last time, and I'm sure we'll see the rolling maul as we do. Bears doing very well to gain ground and inch meter by meter towards the try line. Working their way over. Crossed over the whitewash. There's the burst of the whistle from the referee. That's try time California, and 5 points for the Bears as we approach 8 minutes into this first half.
And that looks like the try scorer, number 2, Cade Christ. We talked about him earlier, the big matchup with the hookers. He gets the better of this opportunity. But that's the Golden Bears at their best, going ahead and weathering the storm, taking the penalties and taking advantage and turning territory into points, getting it to the corner, setting your line out, winning the line out. Then all that power coming together in concerted effort. You saw the UCLA come in with a big shove, kind of stop them. It's that second effort with the team and that execution to keep pushing through there that got that ball over the line. Well done by the Bears in the engine room, getting the try.
We got the number on that yellow card is the lock William Sherman, as Cormac Saint is going to do his best to pick up 2 more points. And we see the flags in the air. Brings our score 7-0 in favor of the California Golden Bears. Colin, we had an opportunity to connect with Coach Clark before today's match. One of the points of emphasis for this afternoon is going to be the attention to the small details. Not only must they execute with their skills, but it's got to be the small detail that comes with that execution. And I think he'll be happy with the way that the Bears turned those opportunities into points just now. Here's Iramea for California. Wide ball now through the back's hands. Sees Newell connecting with Bizio as he darts down the left side. Does very well by the left wing, Sergio Rosia, for the Bruins to bottle him into touch. And now the Bruins in attack.
Yeah, nice job by the Bruins coming down there, getting a hit on after that kickoff. And the Bears obviously trying to go wide. That's in the game plan. They think they have the advantage out wide. They've had to struggle to get that thing out there in time and space. Bizio trying to stretch down the sideline, getting put into touch. Talking to Coach Clark today, Bizio just needs to be dangerous at that wing. He's got some great top-end speed, but a little bit of shake and bake there to make a miss and stay in bounds is going to be needed by the winger.
Big collision in midfield. Sees open side flanker on open side flanker. Strong carry from Freddie Jobber for the Bruins. UCLA earning themselves a penalty. Interesting opportunity here, Colin. We'll see if it's within the range of the goal kicker for UCLA. Perhaps they want to keep the pressure on California and opt for the line of touch, which is in fact what we see from the right boot of Vicente Alu.
Yeah, I think UCLA knows this is going to be a battle up front at the line of touch and winning these set pieces, getting this very productive primary phase ball working for them. They're going to want to go for it right now and establish themselves and get back on the scoreboard.
Unable to connect with the jumper is Samuel McMillan. Turned over by Cal. We see Rand Santos setting deep into the slot, likely looking to exit. In fact, it's Cormac Saints going to be tasked with the kicking duties from the base of that ruck. With a line out for the Bruins right on the far touchline of the 10-meter. McMillan again unable to connect with his jumper, Logan Turner.
Early signs of trouble for the Bruins at set piece time. Overthrow there, lucky to get that knock on the overthrow from Cal. But again, they're going to want to clean up this set piece. This is probably the best ball you get in rugby with the defense standing back there behind.
Colin, perhaps shades of the execution we saw 7 days ago, Cal dominating the line of touch into attack and defense. They'll be looking for a repeat performance, no doubt, this afternoon. But it's attacking scrum for UCLA.
Steep line set up to the left here. No blindside wing. We're looking like a strong side play here off the right hand. Let's see if we get that platform and see if the backs are expressing themselves just the way that Coach Harry Bennett wants them to.
You know, Colin, we spoke with Coach Bennett yesterday afternoon. He mentioned a few times them wanting to play with balance. I think the scouting report on UCLA is a very strong forward pack, setting a stage for a dynamic and athletic backline. And hope we'll see that here now. Joe Sykes carries into contact. Here comes the captain, Turner. Tackled well by Santos. Continuing to work the short side is UCLA. With Joshua Cox, the fullback. Pargetter. McCarthy. Alu. Good hands from Lau Roca as the Bruins work to get around that edge. Bays of a forward pass go unnoticed as Daniel Odejmi does his very best to try and keep the ball in play. And tippy-toe right up against that touchline, but spotted well by the AR in a good position. Line out, California.
Nice defensive pressure from the Bears coming up, making hits, and you saw what this pressure does. When we talk about execution, when you pass that ball, you want it in front of the hands of the runner coming onto it. A couple of those balls on the back right shoulder of the offensive players. UCLA is going to want to clean it up and come onto the ball at pace, just like Santos here.
Good step off the left foot from Santos, sees himself into space. Charlie Walsh, the captain, in support. Perhaps not needed as Santos continues to work his fend. 1, 2, if not 3 Bruin defenders unable to bring him down. It's an excellent individual effort from Rand Santos. That's 5 more points for the Bears.
When you've got an attacking fly half like you have in Rand Santos, you have got to figure out how to connect that back line with that forward pack coming off of that line out. Now Santos took that ball flat, and he just found a little seam in that connection point and gassed through it. That's why it's important to go ahead and get that ball in front of the runner at pace, and you just hit those gaps at pace and get through it. Santos has the gas to go ahead and make it all the way with a double fend to keep the defenders coming off his body. He's just a rangy player, and he's a great quarterback fly half for this Cal team.
So athletic and dynamic is Santos. The junior Colin had a great summer, capped for the U.S. versus Fiji in September, drawing all of that international experience today versus UCLA. It's a good strike from Cormac Saint with a very difficult angle, brings the ball in quite neatly, picking up 2 more points. That's 14-0 in favor of California. Quarter hour gone in this first half.
Yeah, big change there at 9, and Cormac Saint getting the start here with his counterpart in Santos. These two are playing extremely well as we get done with the first 15 minutes of this match, but Cormac Saint, a U20 player, he's definitely got all the skills and looking to go ahead and put his name on the starting roster sheet today.
Lots of experience in the 9 and 10 shirts for both sides this afternoon as Oliver Newell keeps his legs alive, trying to find some space and some support. Turner unable to bring him down. Finally, his opposite number, Josh Cox, the fullback, gets him on the ground as California sees himself back on attack in Bruin territory. Cade Christ unable to get past the outside center Joyce, for UCLA, and a turnover. Kicked into touch. California, a couple of quick moments here, and UCLA earning themselves some breathing room.
Yeah, the 15 for the California Golden Bears, Oliver Newell. Coach Clark says he plays more like a flanker at 15, and he just loves to run. He wants to run. You see why he's so good at it. UCLA just falling off a bunch of tackles and him weaving through the middle there and getting support back to him. But again, maybe last week taking a couple tackles behind his support there, definitely heard the message, and he's having to go forward here at 15.
Again, seeing some steep shape from the Bruin backline as that powerful Bruin forward pack earns themselves a penalty. And again, another opportunity to exit their own territory. As we see that yellow card, William Sherman, the 2024 All-American, returned to action from his 10-minute stint in the sin bin. Bruins back at full strength.
Great touch finder by UCLA. Now they go ahead full strength here in the forward pack. They got their jumper back in the lock position. Now they really need to go ahead and dial it in here, try to find their attacking shape and win at this set piece and get something going on primary phase.
You're watching Cal Rugby on ESPN Plus from Witter Rugby Field, Berkeley, California. I'm Keegan Engelbrecht alongside Colin Hawley. In a cracker of an afternoon, we see Rand Santos looking to find some space, gathered very neatly by Josh Cox, the fullback hailing from Durban, South Africa, graduate of Hilton College. Illegal poaching efforts from Cox's fellow countryman Mikkel de Beer.
Nice job of UCLA getting that penalty, but again, we're coming back to execution at the line of touch. I think that might be 3 or 4 turnovers here. They absolutely have to clean that up. You can't win against Cal at their home turf without winning some line-out ball. Let's see how they go here. And again, over the top.
Ball works backward, jumped on by Boynia. As the Bears want to play here, there's space and numbers if they can use it. Some very tidy hands from DeBeer, releasing Bizio down the left touchline. But again, bottled into touch by that wing, Sergio Rocia. That's twice now the man from London keeping tabs on Bizio.
And again, the Bears looking to go ahead and hit that 5-meter channel with the wing. Seeing if they stretch the fence to the corner, they have the advantage. Bizio needs to plant off that outside foot and come back inside. If he doesn't have the gas to get around, you've got to get into that physical contest and make sure that we can play a phase on the edge for the Bears.
He's a big man, is Bizio. I'd like to see him work a little bit harder off that touchline. Regardless, we are back underway with a very strong tackle from Paga. Illegally done so, says referee Steve Finaroli. I think that was a high tackle. Calling, of course, in rugby, player welfare is paramount. The height of the tackle, a critical focus of the modern game.
Yeah, just for the folks at home, you've got to lower your body height to go ahead and tackle around the midsection. Anything on the shoulders, around the neck, that's going to be a penalty all day long. And here we go again, the Bruins with the ball, line of touch. Can they win it back?
Well done by UCLA, earning themselves a line out, but a very strong collision from Iramea. That's that 250-pound freight train that Colin mentioned earlier. Carried into the tackle contest is the center, Joe Sykes, for UCLA's. Bit of space spotted by Sherman. McCarthy, Alu with the show and go, keeping his legs alive. McCarthy again now to an outlet to Cox, trying to work the space down the right side, but read well by Newell. Returning the kick down to the center of the field. Here's Alu again. Good look from Saint. Wants to run. He's had enough of the back and forth. Recycled well by California. Another wide ball from Rand Santos. Here's Tom Dixon, the big front rower. Foot pass spotted and executed very well by Rand Santos. Here comes Emmett Cook, the starter today in the number 14 shirt. It's a tip tackle spotted by referee Finaroli. Some pretty tidy skill execution there, Colin.
If you can't pass it out to the edge, why don't you go ahead and kick it, Santos? If you got the skills, make it happen. Beautiful heads-up awareness from Santos, understanding that UCLA is stacking tight. So he puts on the foot, just a nice, well-weighted kick to the edge. And, you know, great job by Emmett Cook getting the starting position today, staying on his feet, having a bump off, and being a physical runner of the ball. And that allows for that support to be there and have this moment for a penalty and get the ball back.
Bit of an alley-oop moment there between Santos and Emmett Cook. Cook, the sophomore, hailing from Alexandria, Virginia. Lots of experience in high school from Emmett Cook, 2023 high school national champion. Now applying his trade in Berkeley for the Bears. Colin, we saw 2 of those kick passes last week against Arizona from Santos. As a fly half, my hope is that he's making a habit of it.
It's a great tool to have in the tool belt if you can pull it off.
Real wide ball from Saint into Santos. Again, wants to keep his feet alive. Unable to offload to Newell in support. Boynia now to his captain, Charlie Walsh. Always going to take a number of defenders to bring him down. Big Tom Dixon again with a carry into a staunch Bruin defense. Outlet ball from Santos. Threlkeld keeping the ball alive. Here's De Beer. Gaining ground is California. Doing well to string some phases together. That was Christ into Deely. Here's Boyna. Space and numbers wide. Bizio unable to bring it in. Nothing between him and the try line. But green turf. Perhaps an opportunity gone wanting for California after doing a great job of earning their way towards the Bruin try line.
Yeah, the Bruins are doing a great job getting up out of the tackle and fanning out in defense and getting on their feet and getting body on body. The Bears did a great job in the interior sucking in defenders, and you want to do that. It's just numbers on the outside. You got an overlap. That ball was on a dime. It was dipping down, and Bizio just trying to bring that thing in from probably looked like a 20-meter pass. Sometimes a little too hard to handle, but he's definitely going to want that back.
Here's Sykes, the center for UCLA, carrying into the defense, likely looking to get into their exit protocols, get out of their own territory. As we see an clearance kick from the junior scrum half Andrew McCarthy. Finds his way to Los Angeles via Dublin, Ireland.
A nice job by UCLA playing great defense, getting on their feet, pressuring those long passes that haven't been working out for Cal, and now pushing them back out, giving themselves a little bit of relief of pressure here.
It's a nice grab from Deely. And a very good tackle on the big man, Iramea. Dompaga stumbling forward. I think it was not releasing, says the referee. What do you think, Colin? About 30 meters out. Perhaps an opportunity for a shot at goal. Although I'm seeing the ball in Santos' hands, I think they want to keep the pressure on UCLA. And why not? The lineout's been working so well. The rolling maul's been working so well. It's a great kick from Rand Santos.
Now that's
5 meters out.
Now that's what you want, the bread and butter at the 5 meter. That's why Cal elects to go ahead and go for touch and for points. The lineout's firing, the maul's firing. Let's go ahead and get this team back on the front foot, get another try to their name.
Keep your eye on number 2 for California, Cade Christ, working at the back of this rolling maul, looking to get his hands on the ball, and does so with a dart down the short side. Cal's going to deploy their forwards with a very good carry from Charlie Christ. Here come the backs now. Shaping again to kick was Santos before opting to keep the ball in hand. And a tidy step off his left boot. Byron Finley now for California. Dixon grinding a few meters out.
Yeah, playing advantage there. Looks like there might have been some offsides there on the side of the ruck, and referee Stephen Finaroli is going to go and have another word here.
A number of infringements by the Bruins. Likely the genesis of this discussion from referee Finaroli. Wants to keep the game tidy.
Yeah, UCLA's got to be careful here. He's already gone to the pocket once for repeated infringements, and he's going to want to keep this part of the game very, very clean at red zone time around the ruck area. UCLA does not need another trip to the naughty chair in the sin bin.
Scrum center for California, an excellent attacking platform here. Options left and right for the Bears. Santos lingering right behind. We see a pick from Iramea, the 8th man. Keep his legs alive. Inches away from the try line are the Bears. Going to get their forwards to work now. UCLA doing a great job to earn themselves a penalty. California letting them off the hook.
Yeah, nice job by the Bruins. They got warned again there on the side of the ruck. Got back on sides, maintained their discipline. That's what we got to do, maintain the pressure and meet these big forward runners from Cal right at the offsides line. Make sure not getting to go for it, and you get the penalty, and you get a chance to relieve some pressure here outside the 22 and the ball back. Great job by the Bruins.
Again, earning themselves some breathing room, trying to get themselves out of their own territory. They want to play rugby, but they want to do it in the opposite end of the field. As Freddie Jobber, the open side flanker for the Bruins, carries into contact. Here's McCarthy now with a high ball into the center of the field. Space down the left side if Newell sees it and wants to exploit it. Santos again with a cutout pass to Threlkeld. Threlkeld, another one of those Bears in the 15 today, earning his cap for Hong Kong this summer. Here's Boynton now keeping his legs alive. Wants to offload to a supporting Tom Dixon, but unable to connect. And it's a knock-on. Scrum Bruins.
I mean, great strength by the open side flanker. UCLA coming up with a double tackle. Just stays his feet, stays strong in contact. Physicality gets him through. Just a little bit too much extra trying to find that support runner with that offload. But great strength from the open side.
Colin, we're a half hour into this first half. Almost all of the territory and action being played in the UCLA half. With 10 minutes left, I'm sure they're going to want to get out of here and try and get some points on the board themselves.
Yeah, for UCLA, it's been a curse of the set piece here, losing a lot of line-out ball in Bear territory. They've really got to start winning balls at that set piece time to go ahead and get on the front foot. Starts here with a scrum, getting a little go forward and making sure you're up for this match. Big Cal Bear forward pack, they got to go toe-to-toe.
It's an experienced forward pack from the Bruins. Visiting Strawberry Canyon this afternoon. And speaking with Coach Harry Bennett, he wants to bring all of his team's physicality to the contest this afternoon. And I think we've seen that, Colin.
Yeah, a lot of physicality from the UCLA Bruins. You've seen them match up, some great tackles, some double tackles. But it's about the execution, the skill time at the set piece. They just got to keep the ball in possession.
Speaking of execution, it's a very clever kick from Alu, the fly half. Finding some space, but here comes Oliver Newell. Always looking to run is the fullback Newell. Christ keeping the ball alive, finding Santos. Here's Threlkeld, the Hong Kong international. Seamus Dealey chopped down by his opposing second rower, Will Sherman. Charged down by Ira Lynn for the Bruins as Cal scrambles to recover the ball. I think it's held on, says virtually every single Bruin, and referee Finneroli agrees, holding on in the contest. It's a very good counter-ruck and poach for UCLA. Perhaps this is the moment they've been waiting for.
Talk about a shift in momentum. UCLA comes up, gets hands on that kick from Santos, comes back up. Nice job by Newell to get that ball, but again, the Bruins over the top of that pill, getting hands on, getting the penalty. Now we've got it here, set piece, line out. It's been the thorn in the side of this UCLA team. Let's see if they can connect and get something going here.
Bruins finding themselves deep in Bear territory, not 10 meters out from the try line. Will be interesting to see what tactic they deploy, perhaps a rolling maul. as the captain, Logan Turner, brings that ball down. Bruins working their forward pack very well. Brought down 5 meters out. Here's Sykes, the inside center. Tackled by his opposite number, Mikkel DeBeer.
What a fight from Sykes at the inside center. Wrestling with the Bears on defense. The Bruins are rolling.
The hooker McMillan now. Offsides, I think, is the call. Looks like we're going to come back for an offsides infringement. We'll likely see the Bruins go back to the line of touch. It worked so well for them not 60 seconds ago.
And I think that's what we talked about with Harry Bennett, head coach of the UCLA Bruins, about the balance between the forwards and the backs, winning that ball. And here we go, quick tap at the goal line, red zone. Bruins are knocking on the door.
No line out needed. We want to play, say the Bruins forwards. Plenty of depth and shape from the back line. California doing an excellent job of fighting through that contest, earning themselves a turnover. And another opportunity for the Bruins gone wanting.
I mean, you get down there with 5 meters to go to score a try. That is the biggest pressure cooker in sports, where you just got man on man and who's going to impose their physical will. The Bears doing a great job coming up and making hits. And again, UCLA doing a better job at the line of touch, releasing their backs and getting the fight, but not enough. The Bears get the ball back.
I think it was a knock-on from the Bruins. Bears not out of the woods just yet. The scrum on their own 5 meter. Shall we see Iramea pick and go? We do. Tackled very well by Jobber. Cormac Saint looking like he's getting his platform ready for a Santos exit. It's a good kick from Rand Santos, relieving an immense amount of pressure on behalf of his team.
I mean, Keegan, you've been in that position. You're back behind in your try zone by the out-of-bounds line. You got to kick this ball out of touch. You get a kick like that. That pressure is astounding. Nice job by the Bears, but not a position many players want to be in.
We'll see Sam McMillan, the senior hooker from Ladera Ranch, California, stolen by California and picked up by Byron Finley. Santos, Threlkeld. Here comes Threlkeld. He wants to run. Newell always wants to run. Finding a spot, a bit of space. Connects with Emmett Cook, darting down this right touch line. Crosses over the try line. That's going to be 5 points for the Bears. Calling these 5 points, all of them stemming from that turnover on their own try line.
Going coast to coast are the Golden Bears, and a great job finally opening up that 5 meter channel. You heard it from the outside backs calling for the ball. They thought it was on. Getting out through the hands was Santos into the hands of Newell. Now you saw the UCLA Bruins drifting across. What that does, you find those soft shoulders on the backside. Newell finding a gap, just puts his head down and gets through the gap, but then support source tries on the outside. Nice job by Emmett Cook getting in that passing lane on the outside. Nice pass, and he's got the gas to go ahead and score another one for the Golden Bears before the half.
Very tidy skills from the California backline. Good running lines. We talked a little bit about that with Coach Cartclawn. The attention to the small details as it relates to their execution. He ought to be pleased with that. It's 21-0 in favor of California as we approach halftime. Bruins will want to stay in this fight, as they will, I'm sure. But you can't help but think what might have been, having done such a good job to earn their position down into Bear territory, as Boyna is going to gather the restart. Saint finds Finley. Didn't look terribly ready for the ball, did Finley? No matter. Good kick from Cormac Saint, and a great chase from Emmett Cook, but perhaps an even better take from Josh Cox, the fullback. Owning the high ball. There's that matchup, Colin. Hooker on hooker. McMillan running almost as a lead blocker, connecting with his childhood mate, Cade Christ.
Obstruction's the call. There isn't any lead blocking in rugby. You can't go in front of the runner. You've got to have a clear path between him and the defender. And again, just seemed like an execution mistake there. And another one here from the Bears. The ball doesn't go to touch. UCLA a chance to go ahead and send this thing back into touch and relieve some pressure. Or just a 22. Or goal line drop kick.
Pretty risky move from Alu there. Stepping the Cal chaser before dotting down. As we're going to get things underway with a clearance kick from Alu. Here's Bizio now. He wants to run. Big man for a wing is Bizio. Boynia never far from the action as he's brought down by UCLA. Good tackle from Turner. As California find themselves going backwards. But a penalty again. I think that's offside. Saint wants to go. Doesn't take it through the mark. And behind the back of the referee, Steve Finneroli. Time has expired in this first half. So this will be the final act of first half action as we see Cormac Saint, the scrum half from Rescue, California, taking a shot at goal in an effort to pick up 3 more points for his side. Calling a lot of action in this first half. Who's caught your eye?
Well, obviously for the California Golden Bears, the front row has been great. Charlie Walsh, the captain. Chris Iramea's had a couple touches of the ball, but Boynia at the 7, getting that starting spot has been fantastic.
There it is. We see a nice, tidy strike from Cormac Saint. Brings our score 24-0. The stroke of halftime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with second half action from Witter Rugby Field in Berkeley. Welcome back, rugby fans. It is a perfect February afternoon at the University of California with second half action set to kick off here at Witter Rugby Field. The Bears playing host to the UCLA Bruins on ESPN+.
Yeah, we've had a pretty much one-sided affair here in the first half. The California Golden Bears home team doing a great job of adding the pressure and turning some territory into points. They're really attacking that outside edge, Keegan, looking to go ahead and unleash those wingers and fullbacks. If you're the UCLA Bruins at a halftime, you've got to say, guys, we've got to clean up the penalties. We got yellow card in the first 10 minutes, and we've got to win ball at the line of touch. I know they've got an expansive menu and a lot of different things they can do there. Sometimes you just got to streamline it, simplify, get a jumper up quickly and a dart into them, but they've got to figure out a way to maintain possession at the line of touch and get some great primary phase ball and getting some attacking momentum here to get some points on the board.
No question about it. The Bruins will want to start well here such that this game doesn't get out of hand. Well gathered by Deely. Colin, I'm reminded at this point in the action of our conversation with Cal head coach Jack Clark. The point of emphasis for today's match is going to be starting the second half strong as we see Oliver Newell getting past his man. Support from Bizio down this left side. Tackled very well by the Bruins is Bizio. As big Tom Dixon carries into contact with a head of steam. Santos standing wide. Charlie Walsh, the captain. Always looking for work is Walsh. Here's Dixon again. Deely now. Saint. DeBeer. Threlkeld, I think it was, on an outlet option for Santos. Here's Finley to the big number 8, Iramea. Even matched are the numbers. Santos does well to keep the ball alive through Charlie Walsh. Jack Bizio darting down this left touchline. That's try time for California. A minute and a half into this second half.
When we talk about all skills, all players, we got to bring up the captain, Charlie Walsh, second-time captain here, legendary status for a Cal Bear. But in the hands of Santos, it started. Go ahead, a little shimmy, get a bump off, a nice offload out of the tackle to his captain. The captain, again, gets inside. Normally, big men go ahead and take it up, take it to ground, gets his arms free, and gets that one-handed and one rugby offload to the outside to his winger, getting down the touchline. And that's just a great job by 10-3 and the wing on that short side, getting a try early in this second half and starting the way Coach Clark, I know, would like them to start.
Took the words out of my mouth, Colin. Starting the second half the way that they intend to. As Saint picks up another 2 points. It's 31-0 in favor of the Bears. UCLA making some substitutions at halftime. Sees number 17, Nick Mo Money, checking in for number 3, Lau Rocco.
Better kick from the Bruins. I like the play of putting it deeper and getting this kick out. Now a counterattack opportunity for UCLA.
Here's Cox, the fullback, wants to run. There's Ross, the front rower. Alu, wide ball to Sherman. Big tackle from the open side. Boyna forcing a turnover, gobbled up by DeBeer. Threlkeld now. Santos, the connection we saw moments ago into Bizio as he thunders over the outside center, Joyce. Tom Dixon taking a turn with a thundering carry. It's good defense from UCLA. Numbers in space down the left side if they can use it. Boyna Paga now. An infringement spotted by the referee. It's a high tackle I think, on Paga. Enterprising Rugby from California.
Yeah, we're seeing a California Golden Bear that's ready to rumble. Lots of big collisions and bump-offs. Everybody's having a turn here, but that's playing with intent. And talking to Coach Clark is when you see something on, if it's a one-on-one opportunity, go ahead and impose your physical will on your opposite, and they're doing a great job. UCLA coming up and smacking with hits, and it's just a collision fest here on Witter Rugby Field.
Another attacking lineout for Cal. Sees Christ find Boynia, unable to hold on to the ball in transit. Turned over and jumped on by UCLA. But Ira Lynn unable to connect with his teammate. There was space down this right side, perhaps an opportunity, again, gone wanting for the Bruins.
It's those moments in these games, these big matches against a team like Cal. UCLA normally able to connect on those turnovers, but that's what they really need to do. Once a turnover happens, some of the best ball you have because the defense isn't set up, and I know he had that ball on the outside. You run it in training, the 2-on-1 opportunity just doesn't go to hand, and UCLA just needs to find that little bit of extra focus to execute.
We'll come back to that knock-on from the line-out by California. Sees an attacking scrum for UCLA. McCarthy's going to feed the ball in. Here's the center, Sykes. McCarthy into Pargetter. Big kick from Alu, unable to find touch. Gathered calmly by Bizio. Nice wide passing from Newell to Cook. Cook probing, looking for some space. Eventually brought down just shy of the 10-meter line. Another penalty spotted by referee Finaroli. Good turnover earned by the Bruins.
Yeah, great job by UCLA. They took a bunch of hits. They stayed on the job, got back up man-to-man, got a turnover. You know, you got to shake off those mistakes that Lynn had there, not connecting, and you've got to go ahead and find the grit to go ahead and create another opportunity. And it just like that, getting the turnover, and now a line out in Bear territory. Let's see what they got here. Line of touch has been troublesome.
You got to think this is the opportunity for the Bruins to gain a little bit of momentum as they work their way into Bear territory. Good line out from the Bruins. Sees Sherman come down with it. And another high tackle spotted by the referee. I think that was Freddie Jobber. The man from Tunbridge, England. Finding his way to Los Angeles, representing the Bruins. We'll see Alu again. Kick into touch. Calling from that scrum. I think that's maybe 2 or 3 penalties now, with Alu putting in a sublime kick for a 5-meter line out for the Bruins.
And again, one of the best opportunities UCLA's had in this matchup. They've got to convert here at the line out.
Unable to connect with Turner. Ball's on the bounce. Arms are in the air for UCLA. We'll see if the referee, Steve Finaroli, agrees. The unpredictable and always awkward bounce of the rugby ball, perhaps working in favor of UCLA. Referee Steve Finaroli says no. I think instead spotting a knock-on at that line-out. Logan Turner, the captain, 8th man, pleading his case. I think, unfortunately, going to fall on deaf ears. And we're going to see a resulting scrum for California. Another infringement spotted by the referee. (31-0) with about 30 minutes left in the action today. You're watching Cal Rugby on ESPN Plus from Witter Rugby Field. Keegan Engelbrecht and Colin Hawley, happy to be with you this afternoon. ESPN Plus, the #1 sports streaming platform. We are back underway. California wanting to get out of their own end. Saint into De Beer, losing his footing. And again, the burst of the referee's whistle. And perhaps a little bit of dissent. Sees 10 more meters marched off for California.
Yeah, just going to bad to worse here for UCLA. Missing that line out. Going to the back of the line out when you're struggling. Just advantageous play. You're going to want to go ahead and clean that up a bit. But penalty, and again, a little bit of back chat. And the Bears looking to go ahead and send this a touch and just get out of jail free card here for the Golden Bears, courtesy of the Bruins.
Seeing some substitutions now for California. Oliver Kirk checking in the number 17 jersey for big Tom Dixon. Good afternoon for Tom Dixon, Colin. Looking for a lot of work in some of those most physical moments.
Yeah, great shift by Dixon. Not only at scrum time and lineouts, but the man's a great carrier of the rock. Great minutes by him.
Additional woes from the lineout. This time from California, jumped on by the Bruins. McCarthy finds his hooker McMillan. Alu to Cox. Bit of space spotted by Cox with a clever little kick in behind the California defense.
Not a bad option. Great weighted kick behind the defense. Fullback couldn't come over to field it. Nice job, but again, if you're UCLA, you're down 31 points to 0. You're going to want to keep that ball in hand. Let's see if they can get the pressure up. Penalty here. Looks like UCLA's got the ball back at the 22.
UCLA, the beneficiaries of a short arm penalty. Turner wants to play. Huge tackle from the 8th man, Iramea, on Jack Pargetter. But the Bruins able to retain possession. Hoping they're able to take advantage of this field position, string some phases together, get some points on the board. Pretty messy at ruck time, but gathered up by McCarthy. Cox now. Possession continues to be a little untidy. And again, another big tackle. I think that was Finley. Stripped is Finley. Turnover for California. And a chance for them to get out of their own territory. Here's Boynia. Never far from the action is Boynia, the sophomore from Granite Bay, California. Saint's going to put a kick in. Going to find its way into touch. That's good, tidy rugby from California under an immense amount of pressure in their own end.
Yeah, UCLA again just knocking on the door inside the 22. Great line speed by the Bears. Defensive awareness coming and making that double tackle. But Finley doing the extra efforts there, getting his hands on the pill and ripping away from the ball carrier. That's it. We're in that mess. It's imposing your physical will. It's got to end well if UCLA get your pads down and get the ball to deck. UCLA, again, not able to get that line out.
UCLA continuing to struggle at the line of touch. Oh, it's a lovely line from Threlkeld. Unable to connect with Newell. Ball traveled backward, says the referee. Gathered up by Bizio, spotting a bit of space. The lone white shirt in a sea of blue. In an effort to keep the ball alive to a supporting Emmett Cook. Here's Christ with a supporting Dealey. Santos. Oliver Kirk, the replacement front rower, his first touch of the afternoon. Missed pass from Santos. Quick hands from Threlkeld. Newell doing well to work off that touch line. A very good tackle from Freddie Jobber, the open side flanker for UCLA. Santos wants to play quickly, making a number of guys miss. Here's Kirk again with his second touch in the movement. Turnover, but calling another double burst of the whistle for another infringement deep in their own territory by UCLA.
Yeah, unlucky for UCLA there. They did a great job bending, not breaking, but what a piece of patches to play there from the Bears. We talked to Coach Clark about particularly the execution around the little details around depth and width and your running lines, and we saw a little bit of that from that open phase play. I think it was Threlkeld that really changed his line, got through that middle from just a little shift in the midfield, opening up that gap and getting out to the outside to Newell. But UCLA doing a great job bending, not breaking. But again, the Bears with a great attacking scrum piece here on the 5. Really tough to defend.
Tough to defend. The Bruins under pressure. Iramea to Saint down this short side. Bruins doing very well to work him towards the touchline. Here's Kirk. Keeping his feet alive is the big man, Oliver Kirk. Seamus Dealey with another carry. Turnover Bruins. And earning themselves a penalty. UCLA will breathe a sigh of relief after a staunch defensive stand.
I believe that was the captain, Logan Turner, the 8-man showing up when his squad needs him, getting that turnover, trying desperately to get the ball back and get something going here on the front foot for UCLA.
Leading by example is Logan Turner, the senior out of Calgary. When his side needs him most, earning themselves a turnover. We're seeing a yellow card issued to California. I think that's number 5, Byron Finley, who will be sitting down in the sin bin for 10 minutes, and California playing a man down. Unsure what the infringement was resulting in the yellow card. But we see UCLA exiting their territory via the right boot of fly half Vicente Alu.
All right, UCLA, great opportunity here. 23 minutes left in this match. They've got 10 minutes with a man advantage. They've got to go ahead and get something going on here. It's now or never.
Again, unable to connect at the line of touch are the Bruins. Gathered up quickly by California as Cal is back on the offense. Santos with a wide ball to DeBeer. Good tackle from the wing, Odejmi. With Cox on the boil, finding a bit of space is Josh Cox. Good counter ruck from Boyna with a bit of penalty, spotted by the referee. Not back 10. So another advantage as Alu keeps play alive. An optimistic kick from McCarthy will come back as no advantage is gained. Decision time for UCLA, Colin. Not seeing a ton of success at the line of touch. Perhaps an opportunity to maybe opt for a scrum. Although Alu wants to use that line out as he shapes for a kick into that left touchline deep in Bear territory.
Yeah, the Bruins know they've got to hit points on the board. They did a great job getting that turnover. Nice running form by the folks up front, especially by their number 15, Cox, getting into the backs of Bears defense. They've got to make some connections here. They're playing a man up, and they win the lineout.
Finally, some success for UCLA at the line of touch via their forward leader, William Sherman, the experienced second rower. Here's the replacement for UCLA, Austin Diaz in the number 20 jersey checking in. Big line from Josh Cox and an even bigger tackle from the California captain, Charlie Walsh, driving back the fullback. But UCLA retains possession and stays on the boil. As another penalty is spotted.
Well, Keegan, you talk about collisions. UCLA coming up, taking the ball at pace. Bear defense meeting them right on the line. You know UCLA has got to get over the try line here. And again, another yellow card from the Bears. They're going to be playing 2 men down. Big blow for the Bears, and UCLA. Winds have changed.
Unclear the player who was yellow carded. I think it might be the captain, Charlie Walsh, after having put in a huge tackle on Josh Cox. It is, in fact, Walsh as we see him work his way towards the touchline. California now playing 2 men down, 13 on 15, with the Bruins knocking on the door. Bruins want to play, keeping the ball alive. Not 1 meter out are the Bruins. Would love to see them earn some points for all of their efforts.
They've got to stay disciplined, maintain possession, phase after phase. Guts and glory here.
The commentator's curse, Colin. You hate to see it as soon as you mention discipline. UCLA dinged, I think, off their feet at the ruck, says referee Finaroli. And, of course, just as we say it, UCLA unable to capitalize on an excellent opportunity to pick up points.
That moment of the game is such a pressure cooker, meters away from the try line, and you just got to have this really great sense of body awareness and what your body's trying to do. Make sure you got hands on your support so you don't lose your center of gravity and just slip over the top and kill that ball. UCLA gets dinged for that one, and another great opportunity out the door for the Bruins.
Rand Santos, the fly half, is going to alleviate some territorial pressure and use his right boot to send the ball into the stands. Now a line out for California. Probably a little bit of shuffling going on given the number of players in the sin bin right now. Short arm free kick, says Finaroli. Looked like offsides, but we play on. Here's De Beer doing a good job of working his fin, keeping the ball alive. Threlkeld in support. Here comes California. Inside and outside is Threlkeld. Finally brought down just inside the UCLA 22. The replacement front rower, Oliver Kirk, getting a lot of work. Here comes the big man, Aramea. Buenya goes himself. Cade Christ looking for some soft shoulders. Not many of those out there this afternoon. Penalty again against UCLA. I think that was off their feet in the ruck.
Again, a bit overeager by the Bruins, seeing that pill and trying to get their hands on it. You've got to keep your feet underneath you when you're going for that thing. It's been too many penalties. That's when we talk about that discipline at the breakdown.
See some more changes from UCLA. I mentioned Austin Diaz in the number 20 jersey checking in for the blindside flanker, Ira Lynn. California is going to need to do a good job of managing their assets and resources, being 2 men down at this stage in the match, as Bizio's lined up very wide, hoping for a kick pass from Santos. And the California forwards are getting a lot of work done. That's a deliberate knock on from Austin Diaz. Called for a penalty. Being down some men. Sees Cal want to use the quick tap in lieu of a scrum or of a line out. De Beer's going to keep the ball alive. Nice wide ball to an inserting Oliver Newell. Dumping off to Max Threlkeld. That's 5 points for California, despite being down 2 men from the yellow cards.
And that's how you do it if you're Golden Bears. Keep it tight. Get it into the engine room. Support has hands on. They're off the base of the ruck. And then getting ahead, going on the outside. The little oop-de-oop play from the 15. Nice job, Oliver Newell, coming up there with the looping Threlkeld. Just go ahead and sucking those defenders up, and you've got 15 meters of space from that looping man from the interior, scoring the try on the outside. A nice job manipulating numbers, consolidating, using the outside of the pitch with that loop play.
See another tester of a kick for Cormac Saint. He's been perfect this afternoon. Not easy to do in the swirling wind of Strawberry Canyon. Speaking from experience. Apologies, Cormac. Of course, as soon as I say it, he misses his first one of the afternoon. It brings our score 36-0. Just shy of a quarter hour remains in this afternoon's contest. Alu's going to get us back underway. Kicking directly to Iramea. I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, very well charged down by UCLA, but Santos able to regather. Sends a clearing kick into the far grandstand.
And here we go again, UCLA with the man advantage. 2-man advantage here. They've got to go ahead and win this line out and go ahead and keep their discipline in the breakdown. Just play through the phases. They've got to go ahead and find their momentum. I mean, it might be an 8, 9, 10 phase. But here we go. The Golden Bears add one back to their squad on the pitch.
Byron Finley returning to action from his 10-minute break as a result of the yellow card. UCLA needs to execute now, having struggled all afternoon at the line of touch. Well done by Will Sherman, the All-American. Here's Joe Sykes. Jack Pargatter now. Alu out the back to Cox. That's Rosia for the Bruins. Ross now the front rower from Irvine, California. Alu. Turner. Cal doing a good job of making the Ball untidy for their opponents. But we're going to come back for a penalty. I think it might have been offsides. I missed the sign from referee Finaroli. As Alu again wants to go to the line of touch. We've said it a few times today. This afternoon, calling UCLA earning their way into Bear territory, just unable to capitalize as we see more changes for the Golden Bears as the 8th man, Iramea. Oliver Teague is going to take his spot as Santos tries to find touch. Here's Cox. Good spot of space to Odejmi. In pursuit was Odejmi, unable to take advantage of a kind of an awkward bounce from the ball, but it's the right idea from Josh Cox and a heads-up play from the Hilton College man.
Yeah, you see that Golden Bear defense rushing up there on the outside, leaves that pocket of space right behind that defensive chase line. Just a little too much on that kick in front of the winger. Such a hard skill to execute on, but not a bad idea. And the Bears win with one. Out to the back, and again, a great break through the middle.
You love to see that from Boyna. Off to the races in Boyna. Teagan, support. Dealey keeping the ball alive to Santos. Here's Saint. Boyna again shaping for another carry. Met with a very strong tackle from Sam McMillan. Santos with a little chip in behind. Read well from Cox and a mark called. But we'll come back for a UCLA penalty.
Mid Santos just feeling that pressure from UCLA coming up so quick. With that little kick, it's got to be just a little dinker over the top, a little too far on that one, straight into the 15's hands. He's sitting back there waiting for it. But if you weight that one a little bit closer to your team, not a bad option for a rush defense.
We're here at Witter Rugby Field. It's Cal Rugby on ESPN+. This game firmly in hand by way of California. Just shy of 10 minutes left in today's action. We see Charlie Walsh's 10-minute bin having expired. He won't return to action. We instead see Alex Vieira checking in the number 18 jersey for his captain. As Bears again working their rolling maul, approaching the try line. Well done, UCLA. The forward pack, never say die, does the Bruin forward pack. Again, earning themselves a turnover deep in their own territory.
You've got to admire the effort from UCLA. Time and time again, they've gone toe-to-toe with this big Cal forward pack, getting some penalties, getting some turnovers to their squad. Just getting out of here, they've got to go 90.
More home field action for California next week. Colin sees 2 matches in 2 days as Cal hosts Grand Canyon University. Before the decades-old Cal rivalry, the UBC Thunderbirds come to town on Sunday.
Yeah, the World Cup coming down from Canada. UBC storied rivalry here on Witter Rugby Field. Glad to see that's coming back in that fixture. Such an important one in the matchup between Canada and the U.S. the collegiate systems. What a match to be a part of.
Cal again being dinged for a penalty. We'll see UCLA try and work their way out of their territory. As Teague looks to exit via the right boot. A lot of pressure on this UCLA line out. Struggling for the bulk of the afternoon, but finding some success. Sees the ball brought down again by Will Sherman. Freddie Jobber with the carry, the open side. Ozzie Ross now. Inside ball in a spot of space. Read well by Cormac Saint. But Alu's going to hold on to it. McCarthy now to Cox. Nice hands from Turner. Odejmi looking for some space. Not much of it. As Emmett Cook brings him down. Colin, UCLA's done a good job this afternoon when able to string some phases together, just not able to capitalize on any of their possession.
Yeah, it's hard to get your momentum as a squad. You want to run through the phases, meaning, there's no downs in football. You're going to want to have that continuity game on point where you're recycling the ball quick. Your runners are getting forward momentum in their carries. They're putting that ball back cleanly for that scrum half to get another phase off with another runner coming onto at pace. What I've seen here in terms of execution, that ball out to the wing, people are standing a little bit flat-footed, so a little bit of an adjustment for depth and width and coming onto the ball would do a lot for UCLA.
Byron Finley for California doing a good job of disrupting that line out. Little more than 5 minutes remain in second half action. I know UCLA and their fans would love to see some points on the board in exchange for their travel and efforts today. They've come so close a number of times this afternoon. Another infringement at the line of touch sees a short arm penalty. Saint wants to play. Nice wide ball from Saint. DeBeer, great hands from an awkward pass. Gathered up by Threlkeld. It's a good poach from UCLA, earning themselves a penalty. Colin, we've mentioned it time and again. Is this the chance that turns territory into points?
Yeah, nice job of UCLA coming up, and that's the pressure on defense, fanning out, coming up, and making those hits, and getting a great turnover. Cal making a mistake, execution error, just a poor pass out to the outside to Threlkeld. But that's that awareness that UCLA has on defense, knowing that you can get over that ball, get a turnover, and now a great attacking line out just outside the 5 meter. They've been here time and time again. Is this the moment for the Bruins?
Less than 4 minutes left. This is the opportunity you want to try and secure some points. It's a big carry from Ross, marching towards the try line. And a pile of bodies as UCLA retains possession. Austin Diaz shaping now, darting down and jumped on by an eager California defense. I think that was Turner. It's a pick from UCLA. It's the arm up for Steve Finneroli, the referee in the pink jersey in the middle. Calling UCLA finally finding their way to 5 points with 3 minutes left in today's action.
Now that's better from the Bruins. They went ahead and got the penalty. They had great defense, got the turnover at the breakdown. Nice kick to touch just outside that 5 meter. They won the line out, got to work. Great little nifty play going to the blind side with the blind side forward coming out there and just staying on the job, staying disciplined. Their body height was great. They kept on going toe-to-toe with the forwards and eventually inching towards it, got the try, and that's what you got to do time and time and again to be in these big matches.
I think that was the starting hooker, Sam McMillan, the try scorer for the Bruins. It's a good conversion from the fly half, Vicente Alu, the junior out of Santiago, Chile. Brings our score 36-7 as the clock continues to tick down towards full time. It's a good kick from Santos. Bizio in pursuit, but not able to come down with it. It's a knock-on from the Bruins. We'll see an attacking scrum from California. Calling a lot of space to the open side for the California back line.
They've been doing a great job moving the ball wide, but you've got Bizio right there on the inside, blindside winger on the strong side. Maybe looking to flood a channel there, taking advantage of that gap between the 10 and the forward pack here. Let's see what they got.
Goes De Beer into Bizio. Brought down by Alu. De Beer to Santos now. Santos keeps the ball alive. Finley unable to bring it in. It's a knock on California with less than 60 seconds remaining on the clock. You're watching this match on ESPN Plus, the #1 sports streaming platform. Exclusive access to more than 32,000 live sports each year, with California v. UCLA being one of them. Ten seconds remain. This likely will be the final set piece of the afternoon. Let's see if UCLA can take advantage of the possession. All unable to, I think that was Sykes unable to find a looping Odejmi. Cox is going to kick. That'll probably find its way into touch. It does not. They've kicked to Newell. It's not something we'd recommend, as Newell swings the ball to Cook. Very good hands from Newell. Releases Oliver Kirk. Turnover, California. UCLA wants to play. Time has expired. But, of course, provided they maintain possession, they can continue to play. Josh Cox does have the option, as does Alu, to kick this ball into touch. And we will play on. It's a good kick from Alu. Deep into Bear territory per the signage.
One last opportunity for the Bruins to go ahead and get some points on the board. I know execution and discipline were a bit troublesome today, but again, we've got a long season. The Bruins again on the 22. Talk about a momentum shift to go out of here with some more points on the board and get better as a squad as they win this line out and go to work.
Brought down tidily by the captain, Logan Turner. Another penalty, this time on behalf of UCLA. That likely will be it for today's action. We'll see Cormac Saint tap it to himself and kick it out of bounds. There it is. That's the final whistle from referee Steve Finneroli. 36-7 in favor of California. Colin, your final thoughts.
Great job by the California Golden Bears. They did a great job coming in here, bringing the physicality. They turned territory into points, and they really took advantage of those turnovers. UCLA, a little undisciplined there when they had the opportunity, knocking on the door in the red zone. They've got to get better at the line of touch, but signs of hope there in the second half, going ahead and getting points on the board. A lot to build on for the Bruins.
Next week, we're back here at Witter Rugby Field for a 2-match feature. Saturday sees the Bears face off against Grand Canyon University before the decades-old rivalry of Cal Rugby v. the University of British Columbia right here on ESPN Plus. To watch this entire match on replay, as well as all of your ESPN Plus events, download the ESPN app. That's it from us here at Witter Rugby Field. On behalf of Colin Hawley and the entire crew, I'm Keegan Engelbrecht saying so long again from Berkeley. It's a final score of 36-7. We'll see y'all soon.